Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our meditation this Sunday morning, whether you are here or in the comfort of your own home. Thank you for joining us. So we will start first thing this morning with some deep breathing. I invite you to close your outer eyes and just fully arrive in the moment that you're in. The deep, deep breath in, breathing in this now moment, and fully exhaling. Exhaling fully everything that is not this moment. Every moment prior to this does not exist. This moment now is where we are. Continue to take some deep breaths in and out. And begin to relax the body as well, allowing the breath to cleanse from the inside. Relax your forehead. Relax the muscles of your face, your jaw. Relax your shoulders. Wherever that weight is that you carry between your shoulder blades, relax this place as well. Continue to breathe, arriving fully here and now. The meditation this morning comes from 10% Happier, and it's titled Accepting Life's Ups and Downs. As editor of wisdom content for 10% Happier, Jay Michelson says that a question that continues to repeat itself is, how can I be more accepting of life's ups and downs? If you think about it, the answer to that question is pretty obvious. We all know that life has ups and downs. It's just how life is. There are times when you're happy, loved, safe, and healthy, and times where you aren't, or where your loved ones aren't. Sometimes you get the big break, job, love affair, recognition, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes what you have feels like enough, and sometimes it doesn't. Everything changes. So, just repeat that nonchalant wisdom over and over again, and you'll be fine, right? After all, it's got all the sage advice you need. It could even fit on a meme. But that's the thing about wisdom. Answers don't actually count. Happiness, resilience, and wisdom are less about what you believe intellectually and more about how you make the belief real emotionally, mentally, and somatically. Sure, sometimes reading wise words may occasionally bring comfort, but when you're really hurting, it usually doesn't help. Sometimes it can actually harm, as in toxic positivity, demanding that you see the bright side and shaming you into feeling what you're not actually feeling. I get it. I sometimes say to myself at such times, but I'm still hurting. Nor does it work to desperately seek some way to make the pain go away. I mean, sure, it works in the short term. We can go for a walk, see a movie, maybe have a glass of wine, find your zen, distract yourself. All that is fine. Really, it is. But at a certain point, the distraction ends and you're left with the pain. Now, trying to make the pain go away is either unsustainable or dangerous or both. So then what? The basic skill of meditation cultivates a different relationship to pain, one that can enable it to be a lot more bearable. It starts on a micro level in your own meditation. Despite your best meditative intentions, maybe you're bored, irritable, sad, uncomfortable, whatever it is, but you're able to just sit with it, meaning allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, perhaps noticing how it feels in the body without becoming consumed by it on the one hand, or insistent that it go away on the other. It just is what it is. Right now, it's like this. This is not about gritting your teeth and enduring difficult stuff. In a way, it's the opposite. It's about relaxing the jaw and allowing the difficult stuff to flow through without obstruction. It comes, it goes, it rises, it falls. But your attention is kind of hanging out in the awareness of the feeling rather than in the midst of the feeling itself. The difficult feelings do what they do. You're not drowned by them. You're noticing them, allowing them, accepting them. This is also what accepting means. And be more accepting of life's up and downs. It doesn't mean acceptance in the sense of, hey, this is for the best, or I'll be fine. It means acceptance in the sense of, this is what's true right now, and I can just be with it. With that releasing of the resistance to the difficult feeling, several things happen. First, a lot of the extra suffering just disappears. Pain really has two parts: the pain itself and the pain of resisting the pain. The first part is often beyond your control. When you hit it down, it's going to hurt, and maybe it should hurt. But you can really do without the second part. If you can train yourself to notice when you're perpetuating pain by wallowing in it, or ruminating about it, or trying to resist it, you can stop yourself from adding all the extra stuff. Second, without all that resistance propping it up, sometimes, but not always, the pain itself decreases on its own. I can't promise this will always happen, but see if you can notice it on a small scale during your meditation. A pain or distraction comes up, but if you just notice it and gently go back to the breath, it might just pass on its own. Third, without the resistance, the mind can relax somewhat and the heart can open, and some of that sage advice can actually sink in. Right, change is a part of life. Ups and downs happen. I can show up, be here, notice what's happening, and relate to the down in a wiser and more compassionate way. We train the mind in this skill in meditation, often with very small stuff. During a meditation, it might come up, I'd really like some chocolate. When will this sit be over? And then we apply it in real life. There is no quick fix. It is mental training. You can't just read a newsletter or stick a wise quote on the fridge and expect it to sink in. Like going to the gym, meditation requires you to actually do the exercises. Reading some good advice is a lot easier, but not nearly as effective as training that mental muscle. Maybe use it as part of your meditation. So that's how, in my experience, even right now, as I'm going through a lot of changes, moving to a new city, letting go of a lot of how I used to live, meditation helps us to accept the ups and downs of life, not by dispensing advice, but by actually teaching the mind how to accept. Practice this acceptance on a mundane level, and then, when life takes a turn, it will be there for you when it counts. So I invite you to gently bring yourself back into the body, into the room. And maybe this week coming up, we consciously practice this redirection and attention and acceptance to what is. And not only for the things that creep up that we didn't anticipate, but also for the things that creep up that were fabulous, that we are fully present in that moment, fully grateful for every moment as our life unfolds, really allowing us to be in the moment that we're in with every moment that unfolds before us. And with that, I hope that you will join us in a few minutes at 10:15 for our morning service. Thank you for joining.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Whether you are here in the room at 4 Points by Sheridan or you have invited us into your room, I'm very grateful that you have decided to join us today. Thank you so very, very much. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Dusty Rippelmeyer, and I have the privilege and honor of being this community's spiritual director. We are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living. And Centers for Spiritual Living believes that there is one power and presence, a power and presence that is within us and surrounding us, a power and presence that is the creative energy back of everything that there is, a power and presence that created each and every single one of us in its image and likeness. And because of that, we too are creative. We believe that we create the experiences of our lives through our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs and our actions. And because of that, if you're not exactly liking the experience you are having right now, then you are the one that can change it. And for me, that's the really good news. Change your thinking, change your life. So we gather together to remind each other of that, remind each other of who we are at our very core, and to support each other as we walk this spiritual path. So again, we're very, very glad that you have joined us today. So we have 2 flower dedications today, and the first one is from Eileen Proctor, and it is for Lisa Mandolin. She says, "In remembrance of Mona Carol Mandolin, who made her transition 6 years ago today, I send love and thanks for bringing her daughter Lisa into this world and her part in raising her to be the loving, giving, spiritual presence that she has become. Mona, you are in your daughter's heart and mine always, but especially today. I know that you are so rightly proud of her. Love, Eileen." And the second, as always, the first Sunday of the month is our celebration for all of those who are celebrating their birthday in the current month. So that would be September. When did that happen? It's September already. I can't even imagine it. Right? So while we would love to be able to speak your name into the room, we don't want to leave even one single person off. So we're simply dedicating today's second flower dedication, this one, this is the first one, this is the second one, to everyone with a birthday in September. So see if this sounds like you. Is there anybody with a birthday in September? Yeah. Now, see if this sounds like me. So those who have known people born in this month will agree that these people are understandable, open-minded, and highly tolerant. For the most part, they are not judgmental and respect others' opinions, choices, beliefs, and preferences. They are open to positive change in life and consider it necessary to have a broad mind. People born in September are quite adventurous and enthusiastic. Therefore, they can't stay in one place for a long time and always have a keen desire to explore new things. I'm really not going anywhere soon. September people are hardworking and diligent. They are keen to achieve their goals and fulfill their dreams. They are go-getters of people, and giving up is alien concept. No matter how tough a work is, these people will always put in their heart and soul to finish the task at hand. One cannot deny that September-born people are quite straightforward and very polite. They will make sure not to hurt the sentiments of other people and will always try to be a humble person. I try. These people are always stick to the truth no matter what. They will never change their loyalties and will always advocate for what is right. Those born in September are known to be quite affectionate towards others. They are kind and loving and caring for the people around them. They are always ready to lend a helping hand to anyone who's in need, and beyond that, always make the best out of their relationships.
They are masters of the art of maintaining a proper balance of fun, love, seriousness, sensuality, and boundaries in their relationships. Most of the time. We see you. We know who you are. We are grateful for you. And we celebrate the day that you arrived on the planet. And we love you. Happy birthday, everybody born in September. So perhaps many of you received a little video that I sent, that Roberta and Heather sent out in the last couple of days from me. But in case you haven't checked your emails in a long time, we have a number of wonderful events on the horizon, which you'll know about later on. But one very important piece of information is that as the result of a number of things just happening all at the same time, I'm sure you've had that in your life where that happened and just everything happened. You might have called it, a cluster. There you go. That's a thing. A perfect storm, or maybe the perfect opportunity. You know, we could go that way too. So, but on September 18th, so not next week, but the week after that, September 18th, that's kind of what happened. So we were told by Keith, the marketing director here, that this room is not available to us. Now, we knew that. We knew that when we signed the contract, that there was a possibility that that may happen from time to time. And if that was the case, then he would check on the other two rooms. And if they weren't available, then he would call around and he would find us a place in the area. So that's what was occurring. Now, ordinarily, we could make that work. Heather and I would go take a look at the place. We'd figure out how the layout needed to be, and we would get it done. The only problem is both Heather and I are out of town on September 18th. So now you can see. Cluster. Perfect storm. Perfect opportunity. So on that day, September 18th, we are going to have our service only electronically. So we will be coming into your living rooms via StreamYard, Facebook, and YouTube. Just like we did through, at least, half of 2001. So you're all familiar with it. We're all familiar with it. Ava will be handling the AV. Reverend Tom is speaking. Carol will be handling everything else. And the fantastic Cindy Johnson will be doing the music. So, really thank you ahead of time for your flexibility. Thank you for being willing to tune in to support that really wonderful group of people that will be bringing September 18th message to you. And we will see you back here on Sunday, September 25th, live and in color. This has nothing to do, we're not losing this space. All is well. It's just the perfect combination of events that has happened. So please mark your calendars for that so that you don't show up here. All right? Thank you so very much. Speaking of thank you, I would love to thank the lovely Michelle Love for her beautiful meditation, which expanded the container that our service will unfold within. And speaking of the lovely Michelle Love, please welcome her back to the podium.
Thank you, Dusty. Wow, are you way up here? Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and thank you for being here this morning. So our theme for the year 2022 is Living Everyday Wonder. Our theme for the month of September is Work, and Reverend Dusty's talk title today is Good Work. I'm now going to read this community's purpose statement. This is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. And so it is. So now I invite you to close your outer eyes for a few moments while we center ourselves and fully arrive in this moment now. Just allow yourself to let go, unwind, relax, and enjoy the sounds of the crystal bowls as they wash through you.
Okay, I know that's so beautiful, but it's time to come back into your body, back into the room, so that you can experience this next part of our service, which is always a wonderful thing. I'd like to ask Sean and Brooke to come up and be my assistants with our blessings of all faith. Thank you so much. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths, as represented by this ceremony. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Science of mind and spirit is the path of the divine principles of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere, with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. And so it is. Thank you guys so much. All right, so I will now ask you to close your outer eyes one more time as I say an invocation on today's service. So I breathe in, but I know it is not my breath. It is a divine breath, a divine energy. It is the breath of spirit that fills me and feeds me and enlightens me. And as I breathe out, I know that that is not my breath. I am just one part of the ocean of divine energy that I share with everyone in this service, everyone on this planet. Everything, every thought, every little bit of energy is all just part of this incredible, all-encompassing ocean of divinity. So I know that that means that who and what I am is one of the manifestations of God. That I am and that you are spirit in its divine fullness. I am the essence of unconditional love, of inexhaustible joy, of unceasing peace, of infinite wisdom. I am, and you are, and everyone is. And it always feels so good when I'm standing in that place. And so, standing in that place, I know that today is a good God day, and this is going to be one good God service, unfolding perfectly. So I say a word of blessing on all of our volunteers, on Sean, who was the usher and greeter, going to kick off our new sacred service team. I say a word of blessing on Heather. You know, we just say she's the boss. It all depends on what Heather gets done, because otherwise we can't connect with everybody in the way that we can. So thank you, Heather, knowing that today will go perfectly. Say a word of blessing on Michelle Love, whose meditation was just so expansive and yet centering. A word of blessing on Sandy Hemingway, a man whose music never ceased to thrill me. And a word of blessing on our own enthusiastic and adventurous September birthday girl, Reverend Dusty, who I know that all of those qualities, all of that adventure, all of that enthusiasm, all that open-mindedness, all that tolerance, all of that making it happen means that today's message will be phenomenal. So, knowing this is the truth, I just turn over things to God to make it so, and ask you to affirm this with me with our words, and so it is. Okay, today's reading is from Albert Einstein. And he says, the most beautiful and deepest experience a man can have is the sense of the mysterious. It is the underlying principle of religion, as well as all serious endeavors in art and science. He who has never had this experience seems to me, if not dead, then at least blind. To sense that behind anything that can be experienced, there is something that our minds cannot grasp, whose beauty and sublimity reaches us only indirectly. This is religiousness. In this sense, I am religious. To me, it suffices to wonder at these secrets and to attempt to humbly grasp with my mind a mere image of the lofty structure of all there is. So I know we're all waiting to hear how she takes that into our service today. But we have a treat before that, because we have our beloved Sandy Hemingway, incredible musician, incredible man, to soften us up for Dusty's message. So let's welcome Sandy.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. This song is one that I co-wrote with an extremely good friend of mine, Elaine Penn. I had this chorus and she had some verses and we put them together and this came out. It's called These Hands. It's time for us to use our words and hands and feet, be a voice of truth and help a world in need. It's time to see the worth in every single life, heal the earth. It's time to shine our light. These hands have power beyond belief. These hands have power to achieve. When these hands touch somebody, waves begin to roll. Rivers run like rays of sun. No one knows just where they'll go. Yes, they can change the world. These hands. So raise your flag up high until the world is free. Raise your colors bright to a wall of peace. Light a blazing fire, play an old peace song. Now's the time to stand together strong. These hands have power beyond belief. These hands have power to achieve. When these hands touch somebody, waves begin to roll. Rivers run like rays of sun. No one knows just where they'll go. Yes, they can change the world. These hands. Let's build a table made of grace, where we all can have a place. These hands have power beyond belief. These hands have power to achieve. When these hands touch somebody, waves begin to run. Rivers run like rays of sun. No one knows just where they'll go. Yes, they can change the world. These hands. Yes, they can change the world. These hands.
Thank you so very much, Sandy. That was absolutely beautiful, beautiful song, and perfect, as you'll see in just a moment. So welcome to September. As Michelle said, the theme for this month is work. Now, work is perhaps the most significant time block of time, right, that we allocate to the living of our lives. Yes, I know some of us are retired, but still, you can imagine that, yes? So whether we find it fulfilling or a drudgery, exciting or boring, a calling or something that we do just to pay the bills, you have to deny its place in our days and its place in our lives. My talk title this morning is Good Work. Good work. I'm not sure what comes up for you around that, but I have to tell you that these two words, we'd be hard pressed to find any other two words that have more meanings than these two words. Good work. So you all could be thinking something completely different, right? So for instance, let's take that word good. So it can mean having admirable, pleasing, virtuous, or positive qualities such as he's such a good man. It could mean serving the desired purpose such as a good winter coat. It could mean beneficial or advantageous such as vegetables are really good for you. It could mean not spoiled or ruined or decayed as in I think the meat is still good. It can mean kindly or generous or approving, such as you are so good to him. Right or acceptable, such as your qualifications are good for this particular job. Rich and fertile, as in the farm is on some really good land. Or valid and genuine, as I would not do this if it wasn't for a really good reason. It can mean honorable or held in high esteem, in excellent condition, of high quality, superior to the average, discriminating, of moral excellence, benevolent, well-behaved or obedient, and socially correct or worthy of respect. And I mean to tell you, that was just a few of them. So what about the word work? Now, probably the majority of us, the first thought that comes to mind would be to perform or fulfill duties for a wage or a salary, or the effort or activity by which one makes a living, right? However, it can mean the physical or mental activity directed towards the production or accomplishment of something, such as cleaning the basement was a lot of work. It can be a trade or a profession by other means of livelihood, such as his work is fixing cars. Work can be the part of the day devoted to an occupation or an undertaking, such as he met her after work. Or one's place of employment itself. Should I call you at home or should I call you at work? It can be something that one is doing or making or performing, such as begin the day's work, which would fit in with all your retired people. Whatever that work is. To perform or carry through a task requiring sustained or continuous repeated operations, such as she worked all day over a hot stove. I can remember my mother saying that numerous times. It can mean to function or operate according to a plan or a design to produce a desired effect or result, or the performance of moral or religious acts. Jesus did lots of good works. For myself, I have had 3 major careers in my life: as an athletic trainer, a physical therapist, and now as a minister. Each of them have been something that I enjoyed very, very much. Something that was a vehicle for adventure, for wonderful relationships, and for personal growth. Each of them I would consider to be good work. I know, however, that while this might be true for others in the room or others at home, it's not the truth of everyone. It's not everyone's experience. So what's the difference? What makes other people's work a grind or simply a means to an end, while others a beautiful outlet for their passion and their self-expression? If it's the former, how can we flip the script? Now, one thought, today's thought, is the idea of looking for and cultivating a sense of wonder wherever we are, to really appreciate all of our everyday experiences throughout our lives. This has been our quest over this last year to, and specifically this month, to dive into it at work, but it's been our quest throughout this whole year to really look for everyday wonder. And this month we're looking for it in our work. The underlying truth is that spirituality does not just happen on the meditation cushion or on Sunday mornings. Spiritual living is a way of life that happens every moment of every day. It is applying our spiritual principles and practices to every arena of our lives on a consistent and regular basis, and that includes at work. When we do so, life flows easier, choices are clearer, and experiences that seem like everyday miracles are regular occurrences. They just happen. The bottom line is that discovering the wonder of work as a spiritual practice could shift everything, literally transform the drudgery into fulfillment, the boring into exciting, and will allow us not only to pay the bills, but to also express our passion. As with most words in the English language, wonder can be used as both a noun and as a verb. As a noun, a sense of wonder is a childlike delight. It's that feeling that comes over us that's like the delight of a child. It's amazement and inspiration at the natural state of the world around us. It refers to that feeling of grateful awe or appreciation for both the ordinary things in life and also for the things that are so much greater than we are. As a verb, wonder can be curiosity. It can be the desire to know something or to know more about something. Synonyms can include to ponder or to think about. It drives that natural feeling of wanting to know more about the world around us, like a young child with a really curious mind. Having a sense of wonder can assist us to become an even better version of ourselves. Can you see how that might happen? When we view the world with astonishment and admiration, we open ourselves up to learning about anything and about everything. We approach our lives with an innocence, with a blank slate, with a beginner's mind, however you want to call it. We appreciate the fact that the world is a world of boundless opportunities and possibilities. And when we look at it that way, we let the universe know that we are open to them. Pour them upon me. Now, I'm not sure who all has seen the 2016 movie Doctor Strange. Now, as I was preparing for this message, this movie kept coming up for me really strongly. Marvel's Doctor Strange, for those of you who might not have seen it, or just a reminder for those who did, follows the story of a brilliant but very egotistical neurosurgeon, Dr. Stephen Strange, who was played brilliantly by Benedict Cumberbatch. Now, despite his reputation for being able to really handle even the toughest and most complicated surgical procedures, Strange is really self-centered, and he's greedy. And they really let you know that he really doesn't even bother to perform surgeries on people that really can't afford his exorbitant fees. So you get kind of an idea about what he's like. Probably not born in September. That's all I have to say. Just kidding. Now, one night while speeding in his car, and I really want you to understand that there is only one mind, because remember the song that Sandy just sang. So one night while speeding in his car, a terrible accident shatters all of the bones in his hands and in his fingers. All of them. Even with physical therapy, he soon finds that his hands and his fingers tremble uncontrollably, rendering him unable to be able to perform any kind of surgery. Now, he's too vain to accept a teaching job. So he desperately searches for a way to fix his hands, and subsequently wastes all of his money on expensive but unsuccessful treatments. Broke and ostracized from all of his colleagues, Strange becomes a drifter. One evening, he happens to hear a conversation about a man named Pangborn. Now, Pangborn was a guy who suffered a complete spinal cord injury at C7, between C7 and T1. And what he overheard about Pangborn was that he was healed. And he was healed by an aged mystic called the Ancient One, who's brilliantly played by Tilda Swinton. Now, despite not personally believing in magic, Dr. Strange uses the last of his money to track down this aged mystic. However, the Ancient One, once he does finally meet her, decides that she's going to refuse to help Strange because of his arrogance, which reminds me of the monk who refused to teach a prospective student because his cup was already full, right? There was no room for any more learning. The Ancient One ultimately relents, but not after she first deposits him in a shirt and a pair of pants on the top of Mount Everest and tells him to find his way back. Right? So while there are many different metaphysical principles that are taught during this moving, the one that comes up to me for today is this idea of being curious. This idea of wondering what we don't know that we don't know. The Ancient One tells Strange again and again to forget what you know, to really empty your cup and be willing to be present and open to the presence of wonder and available to the allness of possibilities that exists. It's what stopped him from truly being a great surgeon, and it is what is stopping him from being able to really powerfully step into a new line of work that is calling to him. Now, work really, leaving the story for just a minute, work is really an arena where we expose ourselves to challenges that are going to trigger our inner wounds. You're probably all sitting there thinking about a moment or two or three or four or 1,200 times when being at work triggered your inner wounds. Now, every problem that we encounter then becomes an opportunity to really let go of our ego self, whose only preoccupation is getting what it wants and not getting what it doesn't want. It's only when we progressively let go of our lower selves can we be really present to what life is bringing to us. It is only when we let go of that lower self that we contribute to the unfolding of a universe that is creative, and that we can participate in a creative and very productive way. So instead of being wrapped up in what we know, we welcome the opportunity to grow and evolve by opening up to what we don't know. A sense of wonder leaves us with an insatiable curiosity, encouraging us to ask different and better questions about ourselves, our work, about each other, and about the world, which can forever change the trajectory of our lives and the world as a whole. With a bit of practice and some creativity, seeing the world with curiosity becomes a natural part of our worldview, becomes a natural part of how we live our lives, a natural part of the context of our living. O'Malley writes, true alchemy is about transforming unconsciousness into consciousness. Curiosity is where the magic happens. Curiosity is where the magic happens. Now, in the movie, Pangborn, remember the spinal cord patient, chooses to take his healing and go back to his old life. That's how Strange was actually able to meet him, because he went back to his old life. Strange could have done the same. However, when he asked the Ancient One about that possibility, the Ancient One said yes, and the world would be all the worse for it. Yes, you can do that, and the world would be all the worse for it. Now, if you've been coming here for any length of time, I know that you have heard me say that if we do not do what we came here to do, it will not get done. For there is no one that can do what we came here to do in the way that we were created to do it. Only we can. Now, if that isn't worth letting go of what we know, then I don't know what is. If that isn't worth wondering about, then I don't know what is. When we have a sense of wonder, we want to explore more. We see the potential of every moment, and we naturally push ourselves out of our comfort zones. You know that one? You've hated that job for years, and you're still there. It doesn't mean you have to leave it, but you have to look at a different way of doing it. Something has to change, and that something has to happen within you, right? So be curious about that. What would that look like? How could that push me out of my comfort zone? No matter what exciting endeavor we take on or what we choose to explore from that moment on, we move towards our highest and best life. We get out of the rut. We get out of that box. We get out of that job that we don't like. That work that's not satisfying. Spoiler alert. And I promise it's only going to be a little one, Mr. Ed Krupa. Dr. Strange does make it off Mount Everest. Would have been a very short movie otherwise. And he does that through a wormhole of his own making. So something had to shift. And instead of retreating to his old life, he practiced and practiced and practiced at letting go, at emptying his cup, at being available in the moment. And as he did so, he was able to focus the energy through his hands. These hands. He was able to focus his energy through his hands and do the work that he was being asked to do in the way that only he could. Many of us go through the motions of daily life waiting for something spectacular or rare to inspire us. Waiting for something outside of ourselves to inspire us. The bottom line, however, is that something really spectacular has already inspired us, has already breathed life into us. Carol spoke about it in her prayer. Has already breathed that life into us and continues to do that day after day after day. The invitation is to recognize that the extraordinary is inherent within the ordinary. It's there. It's always been there. And to begin to listen for it and to it. When looking through the container of an office or a company or a factory or a boardroom or a break room, words such as success or failure or productivity or measures or improvements or competency and efficiency make up the operational fabric of the workplace. Would you agree? Now, the truth, however, is that we are spiritual beings living a human incarnation, spiritual beings living out a spiritual experience in the world, and thus the work we do also contains not just productivity and measures and improvements, but it also contains spiritual elements of meaning and meaningfulness, good and goodness. It's about way more than a result or an outcome. It's about who are we being? Who are we being? What if the work was to embark upon an adventure in spiritual practice of finding the good in the work that we do? Whatever that is. Whether you're actually going to a job or you're retired and you're doing some works out in the world. So what if that adventure in spiritual practice of finding the good in the work that we do, finding the everyday wonder within the work, within every task, within every project, within every widget, every design, every conversation, and every product. And by taking an opportunity to do all the good that we can. To really show up to serve these hands. What if proficiency in work was rooted in wonder as the standard operating procedure, as the policies and the guidelines themselves? What if a way to achieve job satisfaction is to begin in a state of wonder about everything? What if instead of knowing all the answers, we lean into asking more questions? What if our desk and the time clock and the coffee machine are the place that we are able to bear witness to not only the death of the same old thing or business as usual energy or the worn out routine, but instead to really witness our allowing the work to be born again in an energy of newness, in an energy of adventure, in an energy of excitement. That's a choice that we can make because it has to come from within. Wondering is about inviting and exploring all possibilities, questioning the way that things are, and really inviting in the presence of faith into our workplace. What if the discovery of wonder, the wonder of work as a spiritual practice, is the outcome? What if it is the result? What if it is the measure of improvement upon which our achievements stand? What if wonder is the work itself? Would we be able to really infuse every moment with excitement, with adventure and appreciation, and really accept the extraordinary, the uncommon, and the unusual? Because remember, it's there. The extraordinary is in the ordinary. from a context of work such as that, what would be possible? What would be possible? Now, no matter the work or the task or the project or the calling, the invitation is that wondering should be included throughout our day. And this month, really, especially throughout our work day. Now, it can be applied to the great and to the small, to the substantial and to the mundane. Because remember, it's in everything. The voice of wonder calls us out from the crowd. Not because we know all the answers, but we're willing to stand in the place that questions and questioning create. That we're willing to stand in that place and not know it all, but to stand in faith and trust. With the light of wonder as a guide, the invitation is for each of us to really explore what our work is in the world. To know beyond a shadow of a doubt that good work really paves the way to achievements of every kind. Of every kind. If we don't like the work that we do, the invitation is to really be curious about and willing to change our why. Or to be curious about and willing to change our how. So why are we doing our work? If it's just to pay the bills, then we're missing the chance to really use it as a platform for our own personal growth and our evolution and our greatness, our ability to really serve the world in our own special way. How are we doing our work? If we're just going through the motions to try and just get it done, then we're missing the chance to really sharpen our craft, to master it. And again, to really do good things in the world, to really serve those around us in a way that only we can do. The invitation is to allow the mystery and the mastery of everyday wonder to reveal itself in our work, to allow us to surrender the box, to surrender the patterns, the old ways of being, the old ways that we did things, and to really surrender the rules of life that have kept us bound, and anchored in a certain life. Wonder is the cost of admission to a more authentic way of being, belonging, and really behaving, not only in the workplace, but in our lives. Michael Singer says, everything that happens at work is a chance for us to offer our full selves, our love, our passion, our creativity in service of this miraculous moment unfolding before us. I mean, God, imagine going to work every single day feeling energized and excited and ready for anything that comes our way. Really open to it. I mean, can you feel that? So the invitation is to make today take wonder to work day. And to begin to invite good things to make their appearance. To create a space of expectation that what we do and what we accomplish will make other people's lives and the world better. And to not settle for anything less. And so it is. Thank you, everyone. I just invite you to close your outer eyes, to turn within. And to really breathe in that breath, knowing that it is spirit. That breath. We were infused with that breath when we arrived on the planet. And it is with us every single day and will be. until we leave the planet. But as long as we are here, it is who and what we are at our very core. And not only is it who we are, but it is present everywhere at all times in its wholeness and in its fullness. That includes our workplace. It is present in the tasks, in the co-workers, in the projects, be they big or small, substantial or mundane. That spirit, that mystical light is present in all of it. So what I claim for each of us today is that there is a way that we can do our work in the world, whether it is at a workplace or it is just who we are being in the world, how we are sharing and giving of ourselves as a perhaps retired person. I claim and know for us that there is a way of being in that work that allows us to let go of everything we know to make room and space for what we don't even know we don't even know. To allow the mystical and the magical to be present in our everyday experiences. So that is the context from which we live our life. That is the context from which we go to work every day. That is the context from which we share of ourselves. Because when we do that, we are really in alignment with the highest and best of who we are. And when we do that, lives are changed. The world becomes a better place for everything and for everyone. And so I just invite us all today to really step into that life, to look at the wonder of work as a spiritual practice. And to know that who we are being from that space is amazing. It is magnificent. It is so much more than a result or an outcome. Yes, those results and those outcomes will come, but there will be so much more. And we will be excited and joyous and wake up every morning ready for this next day to get to do what we do. And I'm so grateful to know this truth and to speak these words. So grateful for the power of prayer, knowing that these words are loosed into a law that only ever says yes. That my words are clothed in form even as they are spoken. And so I speak them and I release them into that law. Letting go and letting God be God. And I invite each of us to anchor this prayer for ourselves, for each other, for our community, and for the world, simply by saying, and so it is. So it is. Thank you all so very much. It is now time for our conscious giving. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is sustained by the giving of our time, talent, and treasure. And this is the time every week when we offer financial support to assist this community to continue to be a beacon of light and love and warmth in the Greater Triangle area. Together we affirm the truth that today's offering lifts this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and contributes to the experience of sufficiency on the planet. There are a number of ways that you can give, and of course they're here on the screen, and they're there on the screen for you at home. Visit our website at www.trianglecsl.org. Text the word GIVE using the following number, 919-230-8445, or mail your gift to our office address, P.O. Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina 27519. And now I invite everyone to please place your hand on your heart with affirmation for yourself or for our community, and we will say our offering affirmation in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. Live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. And so it is. So it is. Amen. Thank you all so very much for your generosity. And now please let's welcome the amazing Sandy Hemingway back to his piano.
For this particular message, I just love when that happens. This song, one work that I think might not have made Dusty's list was works of art. And I've spent a great portion of my life creating works of art, and hopefully this is a good work. It's called Best Part of My Soul.
The best part of my soul is compassion. The best part of my soul is love. The best part of my soul is the part that makes me whole. The best part of my soul is you. The best part of my day is the morning, potential rising like the sun. The best part of my day, knowing love will come my way. The best part of my day is you. I can't give if no one needs receiving. I can't help if no one is in need. I can't share the gifts in me if I'm all alone, you see. The best part of my soul is you. The best part of my heart is the giving. The best part of my heart is love. The best part of my heart is when you play a part. The best part of my heart is you. I can't give if no one needs receiving. I can't help if no one is in need. I can't share the gifts in me if I'm all alone, you see. The best part of my soul is you. The best part of my soul is you. The best part of my soul is you. The love of God, you see, needs both you and me. The best part of my soul is you.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Sandy. You know, truer words were never written. Those hands have power and talent and great, great love. So we celebrate your gifts and thank you for sharing them so generously with us. Okay, if anyone would like prayer, please go to our website at trianglecsl.org. On the home page, there is a button in the upper right-hand corner. Click on that button and fill in the request form. We will get that prayer and send it out to all of the ministers and practitioners. And so we'll have the whole God squad praying along with you. So if anyone would like to dedicate flowers to anyone, for anyone, please contact Heather Abbott at info@trianglecsl.org or Reverend Dusty at dustyrippelmeyer@yahoo.com. All right, our September social event is coming up. It is none other than our amazing game night. It will be held on Friday evening, September 12th, from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Lodge at Crossroads, 200 Brisbane Woods Way in Cary. It is a spectacularly fun evening with lots of laughter and tomfoolery. So please bring a snack to share and whatever you would like to drink and join in the fun. We'll see you there. Okay, it's time for our September affirmations. So everybody, get up, get that diaphragm ready to really, press these words out, because you got to say them with meaning if you want them to happen. So, there are on the chairs if you're here in the room, and on the screen if you're not. And they are a call and response. So please repeat after me. I am a spiritual being living out a spiritual experience in this world 24/7, 365.
I am a spiritual being living out a spiritual experience in this world 24/7, 365.
The work I do contains spiritual elements of meaning and meaningfulness, good and goodness.
The work I do contains spiritual elements of meaning and meaningfulness, good and goodness.
As an extension of my passion for the world, my work is about more than a result or an income. Outcome.
As an extension of my passion for the world, my work is about more than a result or an outcome.
I believe that the work of my soul is creating a life that matters. Therefore, each day is an opportunity to embark upon a personal journey to make meaning through my work.
I believe that the work of my soul is creating a life that matters. Therefore, each day is an opportunity to embark on a personal journey to make meaning through my work.
Reverently listening for what it wishes for me to represent, I persevere with the strength of spirit.
Reverently listening for what values and truths it wishes for me to represent, I persevere with the strength of spirit.
The dream of God is awake and alive in me, and I say yes to bringing it to life through and as me, through and as my work.
The dream of God is awake and alive in me,
Oh.
and I say yes to bringing it to life through and as me.
And so it is.
And so it is.
All right, so for one last time, let's close our eyes. And, Dusty said it so beautifully that when I close my eyes, it breaks my focus on the ordinary and allows me to focus on the extraordinary. And that is a beautiful experience. So, turning within, I am seeing the light of God that fills me, overflows through me, lights up the world. And seeing metaphysically, I see that light of God in each and every one of us, all spilling out to the world and making us that shining light on a hill. So I know that today has been a life-changing experience. I know that each and every one of us will look at our work through new eyes. Look at our work through the meaning that it allows us to bring to our lives and to our planet, and the difference it makes for the world. Wow. So that's an exciting world to be living through. So knowing that this service has unfolded in divine right order, and that it is transforming our lives, especially in the workplace, in the weeks and months to come. And I know I'm excited about that for me, but I'm really more excited about it for you, because it's as a community that we lift the world closer to our goal of a world that works for everyone. So, knowing this truth and expecting it with absolute certainty, I launched this into the principle that will make it manifest with our words, and so it is. So it is. Thank you, everyone.
So I invite everyone to just remain standing and let's sing our closing congregational song together. Hopefully we can get it queued up, otherwise it might have to be a cappella.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This wonderful, this wonderful, this wonderful day. This wonderful, this wonderful, this wonderful day. Thank you. I want to thank you. Thank you. I want to thank you.
Thank you all so very much for being here. We're going to get it right one of these days, or she's going to get it right. I'm not sure who's wrong here, but something's going to happen. Have an absolutely magnificent week. We'll see you next Sunday, and I love you.